Late December 2012, how did you all find out about it?
One of the suspects had confided in a pastor where he was going to church. He had left a home, was living somewhere else. I think through their conversations that he felt like he had to do the right thing and tell what was going on in his home, how he was raised and the things that were going on. And he came into our office one day. He contacted our office and said, I need to come in and speak with an investigator. And he came in and told what went on.
What was his attitude when he came in?
A little remorseful, a little relieved. I need to get, because I'm not sure until that point that he talked with somebody else outside of his home that he felt like anything was wrong. I don't know if he knew that or not, but that's the way it seemed. Because if they're raised that way and they continue to let them do that kind of conduct, well then they think it's okay. It's like a child. You let a child keep right on doing it, well, it's okay.
This was one of the brothers?
One of the brothers.
And can you tell which one?
We did not let that out.
Okay. And did he come in with anyone else?
The pastor.
He came with a pastor?
Yes.
Okay. That was a little over a year ago, right? Why, did it?
Well, when it first happened, we didn't think this case was going to really go anywhere. We knew of the family, knew where they lived. I had some dealings with the father on some county ordinance stuff, not related to any of this, years ago. Really didn't think that the father, we knew they weren't going to get much cooperation.
This family lived on Chapanoke Road for a long time?
I've been sheriff here for 15 years, and I can, at least 13, 14 years they've been there that I can remember. I think it's been about that long.
And then when did they move back to Colorado?
That would have been late 2013, early 2014. It was somewhere in there that they knew that the investigation was going on, so it's not unclosed.
So kind of recently they moved.
Yeah, it's not been like long ago.
I noticed in the I picked up all the all the documents, and for the parents and some of the kids, it still has their address as Chapanoke Road.
Yeah, even the mother and father put down their address as Chapanoke Road. Yeah, I don't know, and they still own the home, so I guess they still consider that their home, but they were in Colorado.
Are they here now?
The 6 brothers are here. Of course, they're in Albemarle District Jail. The mother and father were arrested, put in jail, and they have since bonded out. My belief is that they have gone back to Colorado.
Mm-hmm. But they'll have to appear in court on Monday, right? They set the date. I just talked to the clerk.
Okay.
They set the date for 10 a.m. on Monday.
Yeah, they would have to be in court for the 19th, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What has it been like, investigating this case? Or, it's especially it's been over a year. You had to send someone to Colorado. You don't hear of this. It's
not
odd.
here.
It's odd.
For us, yes, it's odd. Most things happen here. We don't, this, like I say, I've been sheriff 15 years. This is the first time I've had to send somebody to that far away. But, this case was a little more extreme. And it is one of the larger cases that we've had that, I've had to send somebody that far.
What was your reaction when he came in, when this brother or the suspect?
Well, my first reaction was, you don't never know. In this job, you don't never know. When somebody comes in like that, you expect the unexpected, but you're like, he divulged what? You couldn't really believe that somebody just walk in the sheriff's office and say, hey, I need to talk to an investigator. This is what I did. And my first thing was, I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised. I know the family. They're sort of they live a little differently. They don't send their kids to school. And not saying that homeschool kids are all bad, but these kids have a very limited education. And they all live in that same house. So in this job, nothing you expect the unexpected, so it really didn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm. And I know you said they are fairly uneducated. I think I read one had trouble writing his name or what?
When one of the officers was in there processing him in the deputy's room down the hall, it took the kid a significant amount of time just to write his first name, and kind of showed their limited, writing skills. So they don't, very limited on their education.
Mm-hmm. And what are they accused of?
Well, it depended on, you have anything from statutory rape, child abuse by sexual act, rape of a child, and a lot of that depends on because of their ages, where they fall in our statutes in North Carolina, depending on their ages of when it happened and how old they were. Of course, if you've got a child that's 12 and a young girl 6, that's going to be a lot different than somebody that's over 16, because here they're 16, they go to adult court. 12 is juvenile. So it all depends, and that's why it's different charges, is because of their ages.
And let's see, it all happened in the house, right? That's like
Right.
that's the main location. What about the parents? I mean, have you spoken with them? Or they
Parents never spoke to us. They refused to.
I mean, obviously, the pastor played a pretty big part in getting him to come forward. I think I was speaking to some of the neighbors out there last night. They were saying that I think they went to a church, a local church around here. What kind of a role do you think the pastor played in helping bring this to light?
Well, it was a big part. He was the one that ultimately got the first suspect to come see us. So yeah, that was a break in. That's how the case started. So yeah, that played a big part. Sure did.
Yeah, do you think there are any other victims?
Not that we know of. They were pretty detailed in their statements, and I don't think at this point, we don't think there's any more.
As far as I know, the parents didn't cooperate, but did you say 3 of the brothers did talk?
3 of them did.
What have been their cooperation levels?
Well, basically, they were questioned about what went on, and I mean, cooperation levels is either you do or you don't. Some people, and some people just flat refuse to talk to you. Some people tell you they cooperate, but some people will tell you half the truth. They won't tell you the whole story. But when we were able to talk with the victim, she corroborated everything they said. So it showed that, well, they were telling us the truth,
And she once your detective was able to, or your investigator, once he was able to talk with her, she did go into detail. She did
8 hours. 8-hour interview with her. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you can think of? Like, what is the next thing? I mean, we know they'll be arraigned. Like, what will be happening next? What's the process?
Well, basically, right now we're just waiting. We will turn everything over to our district attorney's office, and they'll be responsible for prosecuting the case. Of course, their first court appearance, being they were indicted, they don't, here in North Carolina, they don't go to the district court level. They go straight to Superior Court, being it was an indictment. So they'll go to their first arraignment, and basically that's, you understand what you're charged with and what do you want to do with a lawyer, and then they'll go from there. Here we have administrative Superior Court days, which means if you want to plead guilty and you're going to accept a plea from the state, you get your attorney, you come in, boom, there's no jury, it's just the state, you and your attorney and the judge, and you take the plea, and whatever sentence you get, you're done. Of course, or it can go to a full-blown trial. But it's got to bring, I would think it would have to bring some kind of closure to her to help move on. I would hope so.